Sister Cities International is an initiative that was launched in 1956 by President Eisenhower.
Yes.
62 years later.
Wow.
How has this evolved?
We started in the post-Cold War period as an initiative to build understanding and trust around peace. We are primarily set up as a peace-building organization with the understanding and appreciation that when we get to know other people, we have a basis of compatibility that allows us to not immediately go to preconceived notions about the other. So today, that has really evolved into thinking of ways that we continue to connect and engage. We do things like virtual exchanges. We continue to have people-to-people diplomacy and interaction. That is still very important.
How does the United States benefit from the relationship?
I think of an example from Houston, Texas, where they recently had their flooding. Their sister city partners overseas in developing countries rushed to their aid and provided financial and technical support. So this is not just a relationship of Americans, we as Americans, helping folks overseas. But I've been fascinated. When I meet all of these volunteers, they say to me, Roger Mark, we learn so much about ourselves, we learn more about the world, we learn more about our communities, and we grow personally and professionally. So the benefits are economic, they're personal, they're professional.
There's also the fact that not everything is perfect in the world we live in.
Yes.
So what are some of the challenges that cities or people that are engaged come across very often?
So we know that some of the opportunities that we see at the level of large cities are not immediately transferable to small cities. So in our upcoming conference in Aurora, Colorado, we will be identifying and recognizing the most innovative programs at various levels. Small cities, medium-sized cities, large cities. But it is a challenge to think about how we learn from these lessons and apply them to different cities of different sizes. So that is one issue that we continue to look at. We want to make sure that when we set up these relationships that they are sustained. We typically find that if a relationship with a sister city is maintained only in a mayor's office, then there may be challenges if there's a change in administration. Okay. So we use that as a mechanism to set up the partnership, but we very quickly work at engaging citizens so that there's ownership and these relationships are sustained.
And since President Eisenhower, U.S. presidents have been honorary chairs of Sister Cities International up until President Barack Obama.
I love this because we are set up by a president, so we always look back and recognize that regardless of what's happening politically, that this is being driven at the highest levels of our country, but is really engaging American citizens. Okay. So we're just absolutely delighted to have with us this year and for this term our second lady, Mrs. Karen Pence, who serves as our honorary vice chair and who is a huge advocate for citizen diplomacy. And she really sees the value added of engaging in sister city relationships internationally. And she's really looking at ways that we leverage our sister city work to engage veterans and to think about how art and art therapy can be useful for children, for veterans, and for the community at large.
All right, and before we wrap, you are the new president.
Yes.
You were just appointed.
Yes.
So what in the future of Sister Cities International under your leadership?
Cities leading the way. And this is really the future and the vision that we are implementing now. What does Sister Cities mean today? Why is it relevant? And how does it make a difference to us here in the United States and internationally? And that involves bringing in young entrepreneurs, looking at the economic return on investment, looking at culture and arts and how that makes a difference, and really thinking about what it means for us and for our new generation of leaders. Sister Cities International is leading the way in citizen diplomacy, and we'll continue to do so.
Roger Marc de Souza, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
The president and CEO of Sister Cities International, Roger Marc de Souza, says moving forward, his focus will be on ensuring a vibrant and engaged Sister Cities network, providing leadership and sustaining impact.